Welcome back. Our closing moments on this segment, but let me just read out this mails. Tunji Kolawole says, funding is at the bottom of the ASUU problem. Universities have done next to nothing in raising funds through their alumni. I left university over 40 years ago, but never heard from my university for funding support. The universities attended by my children abroad continually get in touch with the children as well as we, the parents, for support. I recommend for each university to create an office headed by a DVC for the purpose of raising funds through their respective alumni. Then this one, Joseph Ilozulu says, TED fund is 2% profit before tax of corporate bodies for funding tertiary education. What has prevented tertiary education institutions from accessing funds from TED fund for funding their needs? Mr. Ashiru.
Well, you see, TED fund is the brainchild of ASUU. When we had this kind of back and forth on funding, we were challenged. Raise money. We recommended TED fund. But you see, the administration of TED fund cannot be that of ASUU. It's the same state. As we speak, TED fund buildings are collapsing in universities. And those who built those houses, they are working freely in Nigeria. What we are saying is that government should be alive to its responsibility.
Can the universities sue those contractors?
You see, the point is, the way the thing is, operating is that TED fund from Abuja would award contract in Lagos, bypassing the administrators here. So if there's a problem, who do you go to? Until, they grant this. I know that there are problems of accountability in, most universities. We can't shy away from that. But I'm saying that if you are giving money for a purpose and you have not utilized that money properly, the law should deal with you to serve as deterrent to others. But when people do these things and go away with it, why will somebody else, why will he not come the following day and do same or worse?
Okay. Dr. Gura.
Yes, here I have to point out some blind spots in the educational system. Reference to the university. It is bad politics that created the view that a child had to go to university to be anything.
That's true.
That's what they're suffering today. Many children in university are not supposed to be there.
Have a business there.
And so, ipso facto, many lecturers are not supposed to be in university today. That's one blind spot. The next blind spot is one size fits all. The penchant to create parastatals, TED fund. And when you create these TED funds, 3/4 of the money that comes, it goes to pay salaries. They create a system of directorships who write JIPs and all that. The money doesn't go to what's supposed to do. The same thing like University Basic Education Commission. It has no business being there. The primary education does not belong to the federal government. It's a state issue. You deny the state's money to run the education, you turn back to blame them. Create an amorphous institution called Universal Basic Education, who had a line of directors dictating to state what to do in a primary school in their state. So bad policies is a terrible thing. And one of the blindest spots in our system is concurrency. In matters that should be handled at a state level, at somewhere far away in federal level wants to handle it. What they call there's a word for it, I can't remember now. So you deny what could be done locally, and you try to do it centrally without minding the cost. And budgets billions in education, how much of it gets to the classroom where the education takes place? Could not be up to 0.005%. So those are blind spots. Unto disentangle ourselves by thinking that one size fits all, NUC controlling everything, is wrong. A university system in this country has about 5 layers of governance.
That's true.
Federal,
State.
the university, come to governing council, university administration,
ASUU.
right through NUC and all that. What do they do? Tell me the job description of any officer in NUC. Is it collect money from government and distribute to the state? Can university get their money directly and plan what they want to do with it? All these things consume resources. And finally, about school fees. For as long as school fees are not introduced in the university system, ASUU will continue to go on strike, periodically as they win. For example, how can you, no government has had the guts, let me challenge them, since that time, 1977-78, to introduce fees. Because of bad policy, they're afraid. Nuns will go and burn everything. But they need education. Your father can pay for your sibling 500,000 a term in a nursery school. Challenge me. And then when you are asked to pay 200,000 at the university, you carry placard. Say no. That dichotomy is killing the system. Until we remove these blind spots and the concurrency at certain levels of education, and let states manage their own education, their own children. As you said, when in my age, we had local government bursaries up to university level. We had government bursaries. We had state government scholarships and federal scholarships. Nobody of my age went to university without scholarship. Why is it not happening now?
Inclusive.
Well, for every student that gets into a federal or state university, we have 5 other students outside that is subsidizing that person, yes, because there's no room for them in our universities. So my government, for me, that I'm not going to university, my government has taken my share and have given it to one person to go. Whereas, like you just said, you get bursary, you get scholarship. What happens is when you haven't planned, then things fall apart. If we have a system where, and this is what I meant when I said, education is a business. We're running education as if we don't have to account for what we get. So if money comes in, money that goes out must match so that we do not run down the educational system. If the state would give me money, the federal would give me money as a citizen of this country, and I now take this money to any of these specialized universities, going back to my specialization point, I now take my money given to me by the federal government and the state government and the local government. I go to a university and say, I want an education here. If the money that the government has given me is sufficient, then you take me in. If it's not, and I still want that, I take a loan and make up the difference. But you already charge what it will cost to run this enterprise. That was what I meant by it being a business. And
but students don't have access to education loans in this country, do they?
Because we have not created the market for it. Because there's no need for it.
No, there was an education bank established in 1993. It wound up because of corruption. And the government white paper is in the public domain.
There was a student loans board.
There was a student loans board.
Folded up.
Folded up.
Again, it boils down to accountability. But because for me as a citizen, I do not gain anything from this country. Nothing. So if you can say my education is my right, these are what the government can afford to give you, and if I can get a school that will take me in, then I'm in school and I can go to university. And if I cannot, or I see this funds and I see that, okay, it's going to take me to a technical school and I'm going to get established and so on, then I go that route. And so we have to make a decision for the whole population of Nigerians, and not just the few that can afford to go to university.
Thank you very much, Professor Abiola Awoshika, educationist. Thank you. Dr. Dennis Okoro, educationist as well, and Dr. Dele ASUU, chairman, UNILAG chapter?
It's not an educationist.
Well, you are here in your capacity as ASUU chairman, UNILAG chapter. Yes, you are an educationist too. Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for sharing your thoughts. So as we're back for the home stretch, please don't go away.